The Sphinx. The next morning, as their boat sailed closer and closer, Areru kept thinking, surely this must be all of it. There cannot be any more. But more and more of the pyramid became visible to them. Soon Areru could see other pyramids near the great one, too. She was sure they must be very large, but they looked tiny compared to that of Khufu's pyramid. Areru could not take her eyes off that one. No wonder she was amazed. Even today, when we have skyscrapers reaching over 100 stories into the air, the Great Pyramid is one of the world's most thrilling sights. However, part of the pointed top is gone now. Long ago, people took the stone to build other things and kept the gold for themselves. Also, the smooth white stone has worn away from the sides, revealing enormous blocks of tan limestone that the white stone originally covered. But even without the top, the Great Pyramid is 450 feet tall. That's about 36 stories high. While we have much taller buildings today, remember that the stone blocks the Egyptians moved with just sheer muscle power weighed thousands of pounds each. That's more than several large automobiles put together. They cut the stone blocks from the mountains further up the Nile and floated them downstream to Giza on flat-top boats. Then they threw ropes around the blocks, gathered dozens of workers to pull the ropes, and dragged the blocks across rows of smooth, heavy logs to the pyramid. Then more workers tugged and tugged, or pulled hard on the ropes to pull the blocks up big ramps and into place. As Areru stepped off the ship and approached the Great Pyramid, something else caught her eye. Ahead of her, rising out of the sand, lay a giant statue with the body of a lion and the head of a man. She said, "Father, is that?" "Yes," said Setna. "That is the Great Sphinx. It is nearly as famous as the pyramid of Pharaoh Khufu, though nowhere near as big." "Did Pharaoh Khufu build the Sphinx too? Or did one of the gods do that?" "It was a pharaoh." Areru interrupted. "Then I was right. It was Khufu." "Actually, it was his son, the pharaoh Khafra. I suppose, like his father, he wanted to be remembered for something. But he knew that the people of Egypt had spent 20 years building his father's pyramid, and that it had cost an unbelievable amount of gold to do it. Perhaps Khafra did not wish to spend that much time and money, so he built the second largest pyramid, that one over there." He stopped and pointed, and Areru said, "When we were on the boat, that one looked bigger than the Great Pyramid. But now I see it is smaller. Why is that, Father?" "It is built on a higher ground, Areru. So as you approach, the second pyramid seems to be the bigger of the two. Once you reach this place, however, with both of them right in front of you, it is clear which is truly the greatest. At any rate, while Khafra knew he could not match his father's pyramid, he must have wondered what he could do so that he too would be remembered forever. I suppose that was one reason for building the Great Sphinx. Look at the face, my daughter. It is the face of Pharaoh Khafra himself." "The Sphinx face is made to look like the Pharaoh's face? Why?"
We do not know for certain, for the years have not been kind to the Great Sphinx. Twice since it was built, the sands of the deserts have swallowed it up, covering it almost completely. I think there may once have been writing around the base, but the sand rubbed that away. Maybe the writing told why the pharaoh, put his own face on it. But if so, those words are gone. However, an old story says that the lion was given the pharaoh's face to show that Khafra was as fierce and powerful as a lion. The story adds that he set it in front of the pyramids to protect them.
That makes sense to me. After all, there are smaller sphinxes up near the temple at Karnak to help guard it magically.
Yes, this one is certainly not the only sphinx in Egypt, nor the only statue set up to guard a place. But because this one is the biggest and most beautiful, it is called Great. And today we Egyptians say that the Great Sphinx is a form of the sun god. And now, my daughter, it is time to begin our long journey home.
Arero stood and looked at the huge statue for a moment. Then she said, I am glad that I was able to see the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx. Thank you for bringing me, Father.
You're welcome,
Setna replied. And father and daughter returned to the boat to begin their journey home.